Good friends. Jordan and his best friend Dylan hopped off the school bus and walked up Oak Street. Want to ride bikes? Jordan suggested. Yeah, okay, Dylan replied, but I have to do my homework first. Jordan rolled his eyes. Dylan was the only sixth grader he knew who always did his homework the second he got home from school. Jordan dropped his backpack on the front lawn and crossed the street. Can't you do it later? He asked. Dylan kicked a pebble across the sidewalk. No way, my mom will have a cow, he muttered. Jordan sighed and pushed his bangs out of his eyes. Then just tell her you did your homework in school, Dylan. She won't be home for hours. She won't know if you did it or not. Dylan bit his bottom lip. I don't know, Jordan, he said, lowering his voice. What about... He pointed towards his house. Who, Richard? Jordan asked, making a face. Will you forget about him already? Your older brother's a total jerk. Dylan shot a nervous glance toward the house. Shh, he'll hear you. Jordan folded his arms across his chest. So what, he demanded loudly. Everyone knows Richard is a total jerk. Dylan gasped. Come on, Jordan, he pleaded. Be quiet, he'll pound me. Jordan shook his head. He couldn't believe Dylan was so scared of his brother. Richard was 14 and big and strong, but so what? Just forget about him, will you? Jordan said. Come on, let's ride. They rode their bikes around the neighborhood for a while. Then they stopped in Dylan's driveway to shoot some hoops. Dylan kept staring up nervously at his brother's bedroom window. I hope he leaves us alone today, he said to Jordan. Ever since my mom put him in charge after school, Richard has been worse than ever. He acts like he's the king of the house. Oh, he's king all right, Jordan snickered. King of the jerks. Dylan laughed nervously and glanced back up to the window. Would you forget about him already? Jordan said. Come on, let's play. Show me your best slam dunk. Dylan dribbled the ball on the driveway. He was just about to shoot, then the pest came skipping across the street. The pest was Ashley, Jordan's 7-year-old sister. Ashley plopped down on the sidewalk in front of Dylan's house and began playing with her Barbie dolls and talking to herself. Jacqueline, your hair is long and pretty like Barbie's, Ashley said. Jordan and Dylan exchanged glances and cracked up. Your sister's talking to her imaginary friend again, Dylan said, rolling his eyes. You're sad, Jordan called out to his sister. You're really sad. Ashley shot Jordan an angry look. Shut up, dummy, she screamed at him. Jacqueline, I think that you're sad. Where's Jacqueline? Jordan demanded. How come Dylan and I can't see Jacqueline? How come it looks like you're talking to yourself again? Ashley ignored her brother. Don't pay any attention to them, Jacqueline, she said. They're just acting dumb. Dylan shook his head. Come on, Jordo, he said softly. Let's just play. Jordan made a face at his sister, then grabbed the ball and took a jump shot. The ball hit the rim and bounced off. Ha ha ha, Ashley burst out laughing. Did you see that, Jacqueline? She cried. Jordan missed an easy one. Ashley, get lost, Jordan cried angrily, and take your imaginary friend with you. Ashley dropped her dolls and ran up to him. I told you Jacqueline isn't imaginary, she screamed. She's real. Oh yeah, Jordan shot back. Then if Jacqueline is real, where is she standing? Right here, Ashley replied, pointing to her left. Jordan lobbed the ball at high speed in that direction. Think fast, Jacqueline, he shouted. Ashley gasped. No, stop it, you'll hurt her. Jordan laughed and moved closer to his sister. How come Jacqueline didn't catch the ball, he teased. Because you threw it too fast, Ashley stammered. Where is she now? Jordan demanded. Let me try it again. This time I'll aim for her head. He and Dylan both laughed. You leave us alone. I'm telling Ashley whined. Come on, Jacqueline, let's go. She turned to leave. Come on, Jacqueline, Jordan mocked in a whiny voice, trying to imitate his sister. Shut up, Jordan, Ashley cried. Shut up, Jordan, Jordan repeated. Cut it out. Cut it out. Jordan grabbed the air and pretended to hold somebody. Hey, look, Ashley, I've got Jacqueline. She's my prisoner. Ashley balled her hands in a fist. Let her go. Let her go. Hey, Dylan, bring me that rope from the garage. Let's tie Jacqueline to that tree, Jordan cried, grinning. Ashley screamed, No, stop, Jordan. Let her go. Jordan kept laughing. Wait, maybe Jacqueline would like to help us practice our jump shots. We can hang a net on her head and use her face as a backboard. I'm telling, I really am, Ashley declared. She picked up her dolls and angrily ran down the driveway and across the street. Do you see what I have to put up with? Jordan said, shaking his head. Dylan started to answer, but an angry voice interrupted, shouting from the window above them, Hey, loser. Jordan and Dylan raised their eyes to the upstairs window. Dylan's brother Richard stuck his head out. Dylan, did you do your homework yet? He called down. You better have it finished or I'm telling Mom. Dylan nervously rolled the ball between his hands. Just ignore him, Jordan whispered. Dylan lifted the ball and tossed it up to the net. The ball missed the backboard completely. Richard burst out laughing. You really are a loser, Dylan. I could make that shot blindfolded. Who taught you how to play? Did your best friend Jordan teach you how to shoot like that? Jordan's face grew red. He opened his mouth to say something nasty, but Dylan's eyes pleaded with him not to. Please, Jordan, Dylan begged in a whisper. Just ignore him, please. What did you say? Richard shouted down from the window. Are you talking to me, loser? Dylan cleared his throat. No, just leave me alone. I did my homework already, so just leave me alone. Richard shook his head. Try shooting with both hands, he called down. Then he slammed the window shut with a loud thud. Dylan hugged the ball tightly to his chest. His face was white. He thinks he's so great, he muttered, his voice trembling. What a jerk, Jordan explained. Why do you let him boss you around like that? Dylan shrugged. Because he can beat me up, he admitted. Well, if he were my brother, I'd tie him to his bed at night and tape his mouth shut, Jordan said. Seriously, Dylan laughed. You always have the best ideas, Jordan. What are good friends for? Jordan replied. Later, Dylan sat at his desk, slumped over his math book. I've got it, Jordan cried, suddenly startling him. You've got what? Dylan asked. A perfect trick to play on Ashley, Jordan announced with a mischievous grin. Dylan smiled and lowered his pencil. What is it? He asked eagerly. Your tricks are always the coolest. Thanks, Jordan replied proudly. Okay, here it is. You know how scared Ashley is of Axel and Foley, right? Dylan nodded. Yeah, I don't like Richard's pet tarantulas much either. Will Jordan continue grinning? What if Axel and Foley somehow got loose? Dylan's eyes widened. I don't know. Oh, come on, Jordan insisted. Ashley would freak. I'll run up to her and scream. The spiders are loose. The spiders are loose. Run for your life. Then when Ashley runs out screaming, I'll tell her that I saw Axel swallow Jacqueline up whole. Well, Dylan hesitated. His friend's plans always scared him a little. Dylan, come on, it's perfect. Look at her, Jordan pointed out the bedroom window. My dopey sister's playing catch with her invisible friend right there in the front yard for everyone to see. Dylan peered out the window. She does look pretty stupid, he admitted. Okay, so let's sneak into Richard's room and... Jordan, I don't know if this is such a good idea, Dylan said. Richard will pound me for sure if we touch his spiders. Oh, stop worrying so much, Jordan replied impatiently. He'll never know. He's down in the den right now watching television. We'll be real quiet, no problem. Dylan peered out the window again and watched Ashley playing catch with her imaginary friend. Okay, let's do it, he agreed. Jordan led the way to Richard's room. They crept inside and made their way to the tarantula tank. Go ahead, Jordan urged, whispering. Pick them up, hurry. Dylan picked up the two tarantulas, one in each hand. They felt warm and hairy. They kind of tickled. Tiptoeing silently, they made their way downstairs, sneaking past Richard in the den. Jordan pushed open the front door. They crept down the front steps and onto the driveway. This is going to be awesome, Jordan whispered as they crept up behind Ashley. Dylan held the tarantulas high above his head. Ashley didn't hear them coming. She was laughing, calling out to her invisible friend. Nice throw, Jacqueline. They tiptoed closer until they were right behind her. One more step and Dylan, the voice roared from the porch. Jordan and Dylan whirled around. It's Richard, Dylan gasped in horror. Jordan saw his friend's face go white. Richard moved toward them quickly, glaring furiously at Dylan. What are you doing out here with my tarantulas? Richard demanded. Well, Dylan stammered. I know what you're doing, Richard accused angrily. You're playing with Jordan and Ashley again, aren't you? Dylan stumbled backward as Richard moved closer. Well, do you know what an embarrassment you are? Richard cried. You're just such a weird kid. Always playing by yourself and talking to yourself, but, Dylan sputtered. Richard took the tarantulas from Dylan's hands. Dylan, you're too old for imaginary friends, Richard said. Forget about Jordan and Ashley. Okay, they don't exist. They're just in your mind. Imaginary friends are for babies.